Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire.
What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends. So we had a mass exodus of our stars here in Houston, Texas. We lost two linchpins to big names in the community of Carlos Correa is bigger than Deshaun because he's been here longer and he's won a championship for us. And I go back and forth on Correa. Like I'm always like, there are some times where he really fucking frustrates me because he goes through slumps, he gets hurt. I mean, he's big for a shortstop, so it's not common. I'm kind of okay that he left. I mean,
I was okay when I thought we were gonna get Trevor Story.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that we were gonna replace.
That's what I kept looking for afterwards. I'm like, okay, where's the Trevor Story to Houston
and
part?
honestly, because I thought if Trevor Story or Carlos Correa, I thought the Yankees and the Astros were in like if you don't get let's say the Yankees got Carlos Correa, then we were going to get Trevor Story, or even if Correa might come back to us, because I mean Jose Altuve was surprised. I think a lot of the people in the Astros organization thought there was a chance that he would come back, but I didn't ever think about the Boston Red Sox, who have a fuckload of money. I never thought that they were going to be the ones that show up in the 11th hour and just go, and we'll take him.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, the Dodgers and the Mets and
the Dodgers.
For sure. Good
Jesus
Lord,
Christ. Man. Yeah, so that was another big one, too. The Dodgers went and got Freddie Freeman as if that's what they needed. I thought Max Muncy was going to play first, so I never really, in my mind, put it that
so
Freddie
he's replacing, was it a Pujols or some shit like that?
Well, no, and I mean, they're going to have to they're going to have to find a second baseman because they don't really have a true second baseman. They're going to either have to get Chris Turner or Chris Taylor, who is a true third baseman, to either slide over there. And then they have Justin Turner, who's a third baseman. They have Trey Turner, who's their shortstop. But then Max Muncy, I guess Max Muncy could slide over to second. Shut your fucking mouth! Somebody's got to be the DH, though, and I would assume that would fall on Muncy or Justin Turner. But, yeah, I mean, what champagne problems to have. And then they got Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, AJ Pollock, who's been to an All-Star game and is pretty good. Their lineup is disgusting.
Pretty
disgusting.
Good.
I mean,
pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a little terrified. That was one of the craziest. I was like, oh, okay. Of course you did. Of course the Dodgers went and got Freddie Freeman. That did not. I never thought that was going to be a thing. I actually thought he was going to go to the Yankees too. The Yankees got to
sign Rizzo.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's not. Rizzo's not what he used to be. Neither is Chris Bryant. I think Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo are both. But man, Chris Bryant took that. Oh, you gonna give me how much?
I didn't see what he get.
It was big. It was like 170 something or like 160 million. Yeah, fuck it. I mean, if you're Chris Bryant, yes, I got to go to the Colorado Rockies on a 6-year deal, which means I'm probably going to play.
Hey, go pad your stats.
Yeah, I'll go play a couple of years here, live in Colorado, smoke the weed, and then, and then be on my way. But yeah, that was crazy. I mean, Carlos Correa to the Minnesota, I just don't. Like, I know it's a lot of money per year, but it was only a 3-year deal. I thought he was going to be going for more years. I thought he'd be looking for.
I think he has. Might have been. I was thinking he had an option to opt out.
He does, yeah. He basically could play there for 2 years and then bounce wherever he wants and make a bunch of money, and that's fine. But you're not going to win in Minnesota. I mean, you went to a team that's not going to win.
He already won one.
I guess.
I thought he was going to go to the Yankees. I thought that's what he.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That was the whole.
I thought so too. I was surprised by that too. And plus, you can't tell me that the Yankees or somebody wasn't offering that kind of money. I'm sure Boston did too before they. I mean, Carlos Correa probably over Trevor Story a little bit for most people. So, or even us. I can't imagine that the money wasn't that money wasn't there. I thought from us it might have been years that we weren't going to give him, but I don't know. I
don't know either.
I looked up too that Yuli is still a free agent, but I mean, he's like really old. He's like 37 years old, and his
still good though.
He's good, but it's gone down from where he used to be. So I don't know if I'd be.
Didn't
crazy
Isn't he
about
like
it. But
leading or almost leading in batting average?
he did last year for a little bit. There was like a month stint where he was like hot, and he definitely was up at the top of that. But I mean, I'm just talking about in the playoffs and some of these big moments. He sometimes will disappear. So I don't know. Anthony Rizzo did get signed back to the Yankees. Another big one was Matt Chapman from the Athletics was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays.
I don't think we got to worry about the A's this year.
No, A's were on a fire sale. They also traded Olsen,
a bunch of people, yeah.
Olsen to the Braves.
Olsen, I think they traded a couple pitchers.
Yeah, it's a fire sale. Yeah, they did because Bassett went to the Mets, which was scary.
I don't know where they all went, but
yeah, and Greinke, but anyways, Toronto Blue Jays are going to be really good next year. That's the short of it. The Toronto Blue Jays,
all the young
Dodgers,
kids and then
Mets. Those are the people that went out and they went after people. Well, the Dodgers already had all these fucking guys, and the crazy thing is too, like they're going to get Trevor Bauer back. I don't know when, but they're going to get Trevor Bauer back. So then they're Trevor Bauer, Walker Buehler, that Urias kid that was really good last year. They do have Clayton Kershaw. The fucking Dodgers are terrifying. They are terrifying. Oh, and by the way, they do not have to bat a pitcher anymore. They're going to have a DH spot. It's just going to make them that much better. So, shit. Zach Greinke did not come back to the Astros, and I'm okay with it. I'm happy to see him go. We will. I mean, Fromber is young. Luis Garcia is young, and those guys are just going to get better over the next couple of years. I swear to God, we have a guy here in Houston named Forrest Whitley, and we've heard about this fucking kid for the last 3 years at least, where we're like, oh yeah, he's going to come up, he's going to be amazing. You better fucking show up, because I've heard too much about you, Forrest.
And Verlander apparently is throwing well.
Yeah, he said he felt great. It looked good. We have a couple of it's very strange because people are still being signed. This has never happened as far as I can remember where spring training games have started, but they're still like trying to figure out who the fuck's on the team. Like Max Scherzer pitched last night for the Mets and he did really well.
He threw like 5 innings or some shit.
Yeah. But again, like who's on these teams? Who are they playing against? What's this really for? I don't know. It's like preseason football. Then Kyle Schwarber went to the Phillies. I don't remember if I put that on the list from last week. It was kind of an older one, but that's a good pickup. The Phillies, quietly, they got, who else? Nick Castellanos or whatever his name is. I'm not crazy about, but they've made some pickups and they'll add that to Bryce Harper. I think they should be a better team too. But baseball broke my heart. Fuck you, Carlos Correa. I'm burning all your little shirt jerseys that I have. No, that's not true. I'm gonna keep them. I'll love Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman forever for the championship that we got. Oh, yeah. And I hope
that was fun. That was one of the best years in Houston.
I hope that we did cheat. I hope that we cheated, and I hope that we cheated big.
I had a good time that year watching it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fucking fun. Yeah. So then we go to the football. Football has continued to send out some breaking news, some shocking news. I didn't put a bunch of the quarterback moves because there were so many. Let's go with the first one that happened here in Houston. We traded Deshaun Watson to the Cleveland Browns for, it sounds stupid because they will still be the Cleveland Browns. I don't have them winning a Super Bowl. They're going to be the Cleveland Browns. But the thing I don't get about this trade is that Denver just got all of that for Russell Wilson.
See, that's what I was. So what? How many picks did they get? Because I know
5.
They got 3 first rounds,
2 1s, 2 2s, and a 5.
2 1s, 2 2s, and a 5, and then they got 3 players.
Yeah.
And we got 3 1s, a 3, and a 4. And we gave them a 5.
Yeah.
Well,
we muffed this up. Yeah, we knew what we had, and we just fucking the first. It seems to me like
surprised.
the first. Yeah, not really. I would have. This is what I would have said. I would have said I want 3 1s.
But that means that none of the other teams are offering. I guess that's not true.
We don't know that because
Deshaun had to say, I'm going there.
He had to say.
And
so that's what it feels like.
Cleveland
that he came to them with a name and whatever fucking offer they first put out. I think the Houston Texans fucked this up so bad. I think that's what they offered. And Cleveland was like, what? Seriously? And you're going to let us keep Baker? So I can try to trade Baker to replace at least the third or maybe the fourth round pick that I just fucking gave up. I'll just get that back with
but
a
now
Baker.
what does Cleveland do? Because what are they going to get for Baker?
They got to trade him.
What are you going to get for him?
A 3 or 4.
Probably. I mean, at best.
Somewhere in there. Okay. But I mean, like I said,
Matt Ryan just went for a third.
You gave a 3 and a 4 away, and so you get that back. And it's really like you only traded 4 picks in this and no players. It's absolutely fucking insane. I don't understand. My first offer would have been, I want 3 1s, a 3, and a 4, and I want Baker Mayfield and Myles Garrett. Huh? What? Oh, that was too much. Okay. All right. Well, make me a fucking offer. I would have shot for the moon. Seems like that they just were like, man, okay. Well, at least it gets us out from Deshaun Watson. He's really sucked for us. Oh, I'm so happy Deshaun Watson's gone. Like, you should have been asking for the fucking world. You're losing the face of your franchise. Seattle got it. Seattle understood. Well, if you want our guy, you gotta fucking pay for it.
But there is an element of social backlash towards whatever team took him on.
I think, and Cleveland made the right choice.
Right,
I get it, but
so like Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl champ. He's a good guy. I mean, like, I get it. You could even make the argument that, I mean, it's maybe not a solid argument, but I'm sure that Seattle sold it to Denver, that he is a better quarterback than Deshaun.
No, Jesus, no way.
But you could.
Yeah, I guess you could try. Russell Wilson's one of the few that I'd allow it.
His accomplishments are
sure
better than Deshaun.
But he's 33.
Right, but still, like, these guys are playing into their 40s now at quarterback because nobody gets hit.
Deshaun Watson is in the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow class.
I agree with you, but I can
be here for a long
see
time.
It be twisted that way because of how the media has been twisting it this week after they, like how many times did I have to listen to them, to some fucking reporter or somebody on ESPN talk about, the backlash of especially the women in Cleveland. What are they going to think of it? This and that. So
we're going to look back on this in 5 years, and he's going to be playing at a high level, and we're not going to.
I don't think the fans give a fuck.
No,
I think it's just everybody else that wants to, that. And then it blows my mind that nobody brings up that they just all the criminal cases are dropped.
Yeah, how is that not brought up?
What did he do wrong then?
Well, these women have a right to be heard. It's like, I mean, I guess they do, but the point is, you have to come with some real facts.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't it innocent until proven guilty?
Yeah, and he was proven innocent.
Like, not only
we gotta let it go.
They're like, you know what, Houston?
I heard from
dismissed it.
I read this thing that said that his lawyer said that they're not going into these civil cases either. Like, oh well, we'll just pay the money and we'll be done with it. They're gonna fight,
right?
They're gonna fight, and he said, I'd rather pay my lawyers and go through I'd rather bleed them dry on the other side and fucking give money to lawyers.
Well, he sure can now.
Yep, he sure fucking can because he got $230
and then
million.
What does Aaron Rodgers think now?
Oh yeah,
on a couple different levels.
Yeah.
Because Aaron wanted to be the highest paid player in the NFL, and he was for a week.
For a week, yeah, until Deshaun showed up. It's just
and
crazy
then they fucking shipped off his fucking best weapon.
I'm sure that there was a part of Deshaun Watson and it says that he shot down the Browns earlier in the week, and it was down. We were in the day that he signed. They told us it was between Atlanta and New Orleans. That's who he was deciding between. But I bet you that Cleveland
is the money.
In the 11th hour, they showed up and go, "How about this? $230 million, and it's fully guaranteed." And you know that Deshaun and his people were like, "Huh? I'm sorry." He said, "What? How much did he say was mine? Sign the fucking thing. No, we'll live in Cleveland." They're like, "No, listen, but Cleveland." He's like, hey, $230 million
guaranteed.
Can't take away from me. I'll go live in Cleveland. I'm good." And I mean, listen, of the teams that were left,
they were probably the best team.
He picked the best team.
I mean, Jesus Christ, he's
Nick
got
Chubb,
Nick Chubb,
Amari Cooper.
Well, then don't they did
Donovan Peoples-Jones? They cut Jarvis Landry.
What about the other running back there?
Oh yeah, Kareem Hunt's still there.
I'm like,
they tagged David Njoku, so he'll get to be a lot better than he was with. The thing is, and people are all saying this like, oh, well, how could they do this to Baker? People are up in arms about what they've done to Baker. If you have a chance to upgrade that position this much, if Patrick Mahomes, fucking Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, any of the elite top young kids are out there, you go do it.
Especially
you
in
go
the
do it.
Yeah, not even
There's
just
a bunch of
you
teams
just do it.
that I put stars by on here that I think if I'm the Las Vegas Raiders, what do you want? Is this all you wanted? You just wanted 5 picks? Are you telling me if you're the Las Vegas Raiders, you couldn't go, okay, fuck it. Here's 3 first-round picks, and we'll throw Derek Carr in there. You can have all of it and give us fucking Deshaun Watson with now Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, a defense with fucking Chandler Jones and Max Crosby on the same fucking line. I mean, I don't know. There's just some of these teams that I star that it's like, are you really? I mean, I could have put one by Minnesota too. Are you really that happy with Kirk Cousins? If you're Chicago, did Chicago not try to make a phone call? I get it. He'd probably say no, but I'd make the phone call.
Well, not all. Apparently, there was only a handful of teams that had the draft picks to get him.
I know Detroit's got the draft picks.
You'd think.
Detroit's for sure got the draft picks. I mean, they have.
Well, and then Deshaun also has to. I thought he was going to go to Atlanta.
That
was like his childhood team, and
yeah, I think that's where he should. If he was choosing between the two, I still would have picked the Atlanta. Sucks, and they're not going to get better in the next 3 or 4 years. He's just going to.
Saints got a defense.
Well, and then you can tell how much they suck by what they did next. But yeah, Deshaun made the right choice. Just to kind of wrap that up, I think it's a good team. I think their defense is pretty good, and the fact that
Cleveland
playoff.
Well, I would say it makes them probably the favorites going into the season again. If we know that he's going to play.
Cincinnati. No,
really?
And because of what Cincinnati did, look at what they signed Lyle Collins from
but
I mean, they went out and they did exactly what we asked.
Yeah, got offensive linemen.
It's very rare that you see it. The Houston Texans take fucking note because we have said that fans of Houston Texans have said for years and years when you had Deshaun Watson, man, y'all need to get him an offensive line. And then you tried. You went and got Laramie Tunsil and you tried, but not going and spending in free agency the way that Cincinnati did. The only thing that I've seen them sign is offensive linemen. Kappa, Caress, Collins. They just went out and loaded up their offensive line. I mean, I have no reason to doubt Cincinnati. I think they should be there.
Yeah,
for sure.
but Cleveland was the favorites to win that division going into the last season.
But they really fell flat for me last year, I have to assume that there will be some growing pains with Deshaun too.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. There's somebody out there. There's definitely gonna be some experts picking Cleveland.
I think, and I like I said, I think it puts them in the playoff hunt.
For sure.
Obviously, they'll be
okay. Who's the best quarterback?
We'll see, and look what we've got here.
Oh, that's you've already got him up there.
I've got him listed.
Josh
that's
Allen,
sort of my predictions.
Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Lamar
Patrick
Jackson,
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. I hadn't even got that far.
Yeah, Justin Herbert,
Mahomes, Herbert, Russell Wilson. That's 7, right?
Yeah, I mean Tua is pretty good. Trevor Lawrence is a good young arm. Now Matt Ryan has joined the AFC. I mean, it is absolutely loaded in the AFC. And could you make it any easier for my guy Tom Brady over here in the NFC? Yeah. You're just lay out the red carpet for him.
It's a bunch of old dudes.
He's got to beat the Cowboys and the Packers and the fucking Rams. I just see the Rams although they did get Allen Robinson, which fuck.
And they traded. I was weird that they traded
Robert Woods.
Yeah, maybe they just needed to.
Coming off an ACL surgery, maybe.
Yeah, but he was, from what they understand, he was just such a integral part of their offense. You know, more than just. Obviously, they were throwing the ball to Cooper, but
I also really like the pickup by Tennessee. I like that they went and got him.
I think it's better than I think at this point he's better than Julio Jones.
He's younger and he's got to have more years left in him. And I think that from what we saw of Julio Jones last year, this is a much better compliment to A.J. Brown. I think it makes Tennessee better. The Rams, they didn't really lose a step by losing Robert Woods because they replaced him with Allen Robinson.
How happy is Allen Robinson? Holy shit.
Holy shit. He went into a whole new place. He's coming to a whole... And they just won a championship.
He went from Blake Bortles to fucking Chicago.
Yeah.
Is that the only two places he's played?
Yeah.
Jacksonville and Chicago?
No quarterback his whole career.
This motherfucker... I mean, if it wasn't for Cooper Kupp being on that team...
Yeah.
I'd be real excited about it.
If you have the number 1 pick in next year's fantasy football draft, you should pick Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
You just should. He had more points than running backs. He had the most points of any offensive player that's not named a quarterback, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, some of those guys. But I kind of think that it might not be the same. I would not imagine he's going to win the Triple Crown again.
Back,
right? Yeah, he can't do it again.
Not that. I mean, he had a historical season. The chances that he replicates that are slim to none. And then you got to think, defenses will actually start paying attention and trying to defend him or learning how to defend him.
Please try.
I mean, obviously they're trying, right?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, they gotta know he's
open
there
all the fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, he's
constantly open.
Are they just like? Are they like? Who's
That's
the
white
guy?
Yeah, it's fucking white guy. I mean, how astounding is it that this little white guy has been the best receiver in football this year? I mean,
and kind of like it's a new kind of. Well, I guess not a new thing, but you know,
for a white guy, I mean, I can't think of a white guy that
for those kind of numbers.
Yeah. Wes Welker was good.
Yeah,
he wasn't. Ed McCaffrey was good. I'm trying to think of wide receivers. Julian Edelman was good, but not really in the regular season. He was just a kind of a playoff killer. Yeah, I can't. Adam Thielen's good. Thiele's good. He's not. He was never this.
No.
White receivers. Hunter Renfrow.
It's like trying to find a
Cole Beasley,
a white cornerback.
Yeah, Jordy Nelson. But
Jordy Nelson was pretty good.
But he was never Triple Crown winner.
Well, no, but for a few years he was kind of considered one of those top wide receivers in the league. But that was mainly because Aaron Rodgers was throwing five touchdowns.
All you white guys, keep doing it for us.
Well, Hunter Renfrow, look at Hunter Renfrow. He's coming out.
The ratio of white to black in that category is
and
almost as bad as the secondary. Yeah, and most and in my opinion, it should be all black. I think that no white people should be allowed in basketball. Maybe some European whites, you can let them in if they can really impress you, but no American white should be in professional basketball. And
I'm very many.
Yeah, and I'm okay with us making a black-only league of football because it'd be very entertaining.
Someone's got to shoot 3-pointers.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, Steph's kind of white.
I was about to say the blacks are pretty good at shooting threes nowadays. So
I'm not saying they're not.
I shouldn't say the blacks. That's probably not the right way to say that. But
nobody will see this though because YouTube is shutting that shit down.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, he said the blacks, and that's not the way to refer to them as. So then the next. So then
he can't say
Deshaun Watson was a.
He's the first domino.
Yeah. And then once that went, then we saw the other moves. Okay, now teams were like, Indianapolis was like, okay, so we got to decide who are we going to go
They got to steal, bro.
Did they?
I think.
I don't know.
Because they gave up a 3rd-round pick.
If this was 4 or 5 years ago, okay, you're right. The steal. But he's not Matt Ryan of old. He's an older. This kind of feels like Phillip Rivers.
Falcons have? I know, but I think that he's better than Phillip Rivers was.
Yes.
Like,
as far as we know.
I don't think he's done like Phillip Rivers.
No,
but
his arm is still there.
It seems. And so maybe if you put him in a situation where he can win, where he's not got to be the guy, you know.
Maybe. And listen, we've talked about a lot where we both feel like the Indianapolis Colts are right there.
And I think that
the rest of the team.
Don't you think that he gives them a better chance to win than Wentz?
Yes.
And so they upgraded. They upgraded for a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
And then possibly you got to pay the motherfucker's salary for the next few years, which is big. But they didn't I mean, how much? Apparently, they're not going to take that hit this year.
They're not taking the $40 million
and that was my
cap
thing.
hit.
So does that mean Atlanta's basically said fuck off this season?
Yeah, I think so. And they proved it immediately by signing Marcus Mariota as their. So there was that.
So that was
to the
my,
fans, that was a
point.
big
Like,
no. We're gonna lose
this year.
Yeah, we are gonna lose this year.
Didn't you say that next year's crop of quarterbacks is supposed to be elite?
Big. Which I hope that's why we're like, we don't need Baker Mayfield because we're gonna roll Davis Mills out there and hope that we lose every game.
Let's suck.
Let's suck.
Let's suck and get a quarterback.
Let's suck. I think the kid from Georgia's coming out.
And then you know what you should do with all these other picks is fucking offensive line. And defense. That's all you get. Offensive line and defense. You can fill in, once we get the quarterback.
Shut up! Shut up!
Get the quarterback, then you go sign that high-end receiver.
Oh, Lord. Somebody's ringing the door.
Oh, is that
Somebody's ringing the doorbell, so this chaos is going to go on for a minute.
All right. What we're talking about.
Okay, welcome back. You ring the doorbell in my house, and it sets off a bomb that can only be, it's Hiroshima. I don't know what I was talking about with a bomb. So what were we talking about? We were talking about the Matt Ryan trade.
Oh, yeah.
And Jimmy G or Matt Ryan right now. I think I would have gone and got Jimmy G.
But you ain't getting Jimmy G for a 3rd round pick.
I think that the problem with Baker Mayfield and Jimmy G is that we know that both teams don't want them.
Right. So and that's one of the things that especially with Baker.
Yeah.
Right. So what's Cleveland gonna get for him? Like, because are they gonna? Is there a possibility that Baker is a Cleveland Brown this year?
It's possible.
Like, would they pay him too?
We don't know if Deshaun's going to be suspended.
So you think
there is a possibility
because there's a possibility that San Francisco doesn't trade Jimmy.
But my guess in the Jimmy G situation is different than the Baker Mayfield situation. Right. I would guess if Baker Mayfield does not get traded and he is on the Browns and he's supposed to start the 6 games that Deshaun's there, I would guess he says, fuck you. I would guess that he goes, no, I'm not going to start these 6 games, get you to 4-2, and then let this fucking kid that you think is better than me. Does
Weren't
Baker
they in
Mayfield
the same draft?
They were. He was the number 1 pick, and Deshaun was like the 10th. Now, does Baker Mayfield truly believe that he's better than Deshaun Watson? Do you think he thinks that?
Yeah. Well,
he's out of his fucking mind if he does.
I think that he thinks that he has to think that. How these an athlete on that level has to have some sort of insane self-belief, to even reach, especially Baker. Like, get the fuck out of here. He's a little white dude.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy. I'm sure there's a chip on his shoulder that he has to have this
insane self-confidence.
I'm sure.
And he probably has to feed that. And it might come naturally, but I think that he has to keep that in his mind in order to keep his edge or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think that that's how Baker thinks.
I do. I do think that's probably what's going on, but you got to be realistic in this situation, and now you got to look around the league and go, where? I mean,
you think he's like? I was the number 1 pick. That guy was 10.
Yeah, I think that is what that crazy motherfucker.
Because Mahomes was in that draft too.
Yeah. So I mean, Mitchell Trubisky was 2. So it went Baker Mayfield, Mitchell Trubisky,
my God, I forgot
and then
about
Deshaun was 10, and I think Patrick Mahomes was like 12 or 13.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I thought Mahomes went before Watson.
No, he went after.
Oh, okay.
No, we could have had Mahomes.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
But I love what we did.
Yeah,
Deshaun was great.
Problem. Right. I think he hasn't accomplished as much.
No. But the Browns and the Bears that went, Baker Mayfield and Mitchell Trubisky.
I wasn't real sure. Like, the whole Baker going number 1 thing was always kind of weird.
Yeah, it was.
Like that's the guy you picked?
I didn't think he was the guy. And I still don't. Now, if I'm Seattle, I might call him up.
Right, but if you're in a rebuild
I'll give you a 5th. and then make them make the offer and be like, no, we really need like a third. And they're like, okay, I'll meet you in the middle. I'll give you a fourth. I don't know. Is it worth it to Seattle, who just got...
The funny thing is that we didn't want to.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Like, really?
I can't believe that wasn't a part of the trade.
Want him?
How is that not a part of the trade?
Maybe they just didn't want to pay him? I mean, because I don't think he's still in his rookie deal, isn't he?
Yeah, it's only $18 million that he costs against the cap this year, so that's really not that bad, but...
I'm just trying to think who. I mean, Carolina, they need one.
Yeah.
Seattle.
I have left Carolina. Shut up! I left Carolina blank on purpose because I just don't believe in Sam Darnold. I just don't think that he's...
I can't believe that after what they saw last year.
Well, and they were in the Deshaun Watson, they were trying.
Right.
He shot them down.
Yeah.
So he took them out of the equation just like he did Cleveland at the time. And I think that had they been able to pull that trade off, they would have.
And maybe they didn't have, and they didn't want to go, hey, we'll give you $230 guaranteed.
I think the problem with San Francisco is that they've made it known that they don't want Garoppolo. And so, like, Carolina probably has called them, but they're lowballing them. And they're like, all right, well, I'm only going to give you a 5th-round pick because you don't want this guy. You want Trey Lance to be your guy. But I could see a situation in San Francisco where he doesn't get traded, and we go into training camp, and Garoppolo just beats Trey Lance and maybe ends up starting again next year. San Francisco was a couple of plays away.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I was thinking that I don't think that San Francisco needs to trade him.
They don't need to at all, but I mean they've traded so many picks to go get Trey Lance. They traded 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance. So they really believed in this kid, and Kyle Shanahan has all but said that is our quarterback of the future. So it's a weird situation. It's different than the Baker Mayfield situation where they just mortgaged their future on Deshaun Watson and said, we're going to cut ties with Baker Mayfield one way or another. Either we're going to talk somebody into trading it for us, or we're just going to cut the guy.
But at this point, Carolina, do you think Carolina or Seattle thinks that they're going to make the playoffs with Garoppolo or Mayfield?
I think Carolina might have unrealistic goals. I don't think Seattle does. I think Seattle knows what they are.
So then why would Seattle? I mean, they
doesn't make a lot of sense.
Why would you want Baker instead of Drew Lock?
You know, and this is where I'm getting to with these little stars where there are some would you rather have Jimmy G or Derek Carr? That's tough for me.
I think but at this point, because you have to trade for him, then you might as well just stick with your guy. And the other thing is that Devontae Adams and Derek Carr went to college together.
Okay, what about Justin Fields?
Well, yeah, but you just got
If you're in a rebuild, yeah, I guess.
And if you're a brand new coach, you got to bet that one of the things that he had to say to get that job was, yes, I can turn Justin Fields into an NFL quarterback.
Well, I put them over here to the side because these two gentlemen that were starting quarterbacks in the NFL last year and Jimmy G was in the NFC Championship game and a very good team of San Francisco riding high last year. They could be holding clipboards and
which is fine, but I guess my point here is from the team's standpoint, from San Francisco and Cleveland, like, what do you got to go on? Like now they kind of like lost out on this whole.
And you're gonna just end up letting them play because they've only got 1 year left,
right?
So either you cut them or they stand on the sidelines and they watch Trey Lance and Deshaun Watson play,
or you wait and somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
right.
And that could happen too. I mean, that's what they were saying about San Francisco is that San Francisco is content with waiting until middle of the year when somebody eventually will get hurt, and then Bubbles. That's the dog's name. That has nothing to do with the sentence I was just saying. Then eventually they'll just, then they can get something better for Jimmy G. And I think Jimmy G, more than Baker, has the potential. Let's say a really good team does lose Josh Allen or something like that. I could see the Buffalo Bills, who are in a win now mentality. They just signed Shut up! Shut up!
It's
unbelievable.
They can't help themselves.
The Buffalo Bills just signed Jamison Crowder, and they signed Duke Johnson. I don't think those guys are that big of a deal, but I do think that Jamison Crowder is a good pickup. Shut the fuck up! Shut up!
He's going to be the Cole Beasley now.
Yeah. And I mean, he did pretty good in the Jets, fantasy-wise, with a fucking shitty quarterback. So I can imagine Josh Allen making his fantasy stock go up at least. Speaking of fantasy, did we hit all the... okay, so then New Orleans re-signed Jameis Winston once they lost out on the Deshaun thing. Atlanta signed Marcus Mariota because they clearly are like, fuck it, we're out this year. We're not playing to win. And the only teams that I did leave blank on there are Carolina and Seattle because I don't know how much they believe in Drew Lock and Sam Darnold. But those technically are their quarterbacks on their teams, and they could roll them out there next year and also be going for broke.
Or maybe Seattle, everybody's trying to suck.
I'm 99% sure that Seattle probably will just throw Drew Lock out there because they're not in this to win. Right, they're looking to suck and get a new guy.
They're rebuilding, and if there's a good quarterback, again, you got to believe that they got to be looking into the future a little bit.
Yeah. So some other moves that went down. This one to me was big. I actually think this is a big move. Juju Smith-Schuster to the Chiefs. Hey, yeah.
Well, he has the talent to be that third receiver.
They have all these guys. They have the same guys. They still have Tyreek Hill. They still have McCole Hardman. They still have Travis Kelce. They still have the fucking young running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They have all these guys. They're just adding him to it. He's a much better number 2 than McCole Hardman is.
That's what I'm saying. So, but they just haven't ever been able to seem to find a way to use anybody but Hill and Kelce in their passing game, and like we've always been. I mean, how many Chiefs fucking receivers have you picked up just hoping?
Just trying.
They'll just get a
Gordon connection. They've done that a lot. So and he's young. He's 26 years old.
He's good, bro. There was a time when he was the best receiver there in Pittsburgh.
I think it's a huge pickup fantasy-wise. Listen, I don't know how much his coverage has changed over the last couple of years because he hasn't quite been the same receiver that we've seen the last 2 years. So he probably has been a little bit more single coverage. But this is going to be the lightest coverage that he's seen in a while.
You would think.
Because they're going to have to cover Tyreek and they're going to have to cover Travis Kelce. He should end up in a lot of favorable situations.
Should help Tyreek Hill out too. Then.
Yeah, it should. We talked a little bit about some of these other ones. La'el Collins went to Cincinnati. I like that pickup a lot. Robert Woods got traded to the Titans. Devontae Adams got traded to the Raiders. That was a huge trade. Yeah, fuck you, Aaron Rodgers. I love it. Right after he signs,
it's
too.
so funny.
He just signed, and then
Devontae Adams. I heard a couple years ago that they wouldn't draft him weapons, and now he decides to take the money, and then they're like, we can't pay him anymore, so we're going to trade him.
Yeah.
So now who you going to throw it to?
Who the fuck knows?
Robert Tonyan.
Robert Tonyan and Alan Lazard. Those are the people that are on the Green Bay Packers right now. Green Bay Packers, I have them winning the division, and it's because they're probably one of the worst divisions in the league. But past that, I don't think they win a playoff game. I could see
think so.
Whoever
same thing as this past year.
San Francisco will be good again. The Rams will be good again, and Arizona will be good again. So from the NFC West, you'll probably send the 3 of them again, and then the rest of the league can suck a big one. I mean, the rest of the NFC is just bad. Maybe Minnesota turns this around. Maybe Washington is better with Carson Wentz, and I think Philly is going to have a better year than Dallas just because I don't like the moves that Dallas has made, and they're crippled by Zeke.
Yep.
And he's not getting any better. He's just getting worse. So
older.
Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, you guys pulled off a hilarious deal and traded Devontae Adams.
How much of do you think that was a fuck you from the Packers to Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers. All right, we'll pay you.
Yeah, you want the bag?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you? Oh, but I thought it was just about the money for you. You're clear they don't care about winning. So,
you wanted to throw it?
We're gonna lose then if that's what you want. But yeah, and then but
doesn't that you have to know that was a conversation, right? Aaron, if we pay you that, we're gonna have to get rid of Devontae.
Well, and Sam Demler, who we both know is a Wisconsinite. He's from Green Bay. He's from that area, and he said that Milwaukee and. He said that from what the reporters in his area that he listens to, that this was talked about.
Right.
That
So he's like,
Aaron Rodgers was like, all right.
Well, I
didn't want to win anyways. Like, I'm totally cool with just being a loser. Look at my hair. Like, you're a fucking idiot. And he's a loser. And listen, the AFC West, man.
Oh,
wow.
No. I'm kind of excited about the Raiders now.
I put them in order of what I think it will end next year. I think these are my predictions. But the AFC West, I am rolling the dice. This is the order I think. Who the fuck? Now, I could be wrong.
I can see Kansas City losing that division.
The Raiders could win the division, and the Broncos could be number 2. And, I mean, you could give me any scenario in the AFC West, and I go, yeah, I mean, I hear you. They have to play each other. Think about how good these games are going to be twice from each one of these. Even any matchup that I give you there, Denver Chargers, Kansas City, Denver, Vegas, Kansas City. I mean, we've got some great football going to come out of the AFC. The AFC is going to be stacked. And I think that we might see a situation, too, because I could smell a lot of these NFC teams losing a lot of games. Not only in their own division, but, they play in the NFC, AFC mix-up. Anytime that, Atlanta plays anybody from this AFC side, they're getting stomped out.
I don't know who they're playing this year.
I don't know. But, Detroit, Chicago, the Giants, Seattle, Carolina, New Orleans.
Yeah.
I get that they brought Jameis back, but I don't have New Orleans.
He gonna throw it too.
Michael Thomas is all of a sudden like, you know what? I'm hurt again. Like, I was in when it was Deshaun Watson, but now I don't feel so well. Like we said with the Raiders and Chandler Jones, I think we talked about that already. But him and Max Crosby on the same side is nasty. I don't know. Did we talk about Von Miller last week? Had that happened yet?
I think so.
No, because I think you texted me after the show and you were like, dude, what the fuck? Like, it was because it was the day of. It was when I was at work. I was at work. It happened Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, they gave him 6 years,
6 years,
$120 million. The man is 33 years old.
When was the last defensive end?
At 39. Out there just killing.
This feels like the Pujols deal when the fucking... when the Angels gave him, and he was already 40, and they gave him like a 10-year deal. It has to be that they had to be in a bidding war, and they just got called. They were like, "I'm gonna put all my chips in," and then the other team was like, "Oh, what?" You said how much? Go ahead and take it, Vaughn, because we're not gonna give you that. That's they're insane.
Out of nowhere.
Like you get why? Like where's the? What did you see?
He had a good Super Bowl. He played well in the Super Bowl. And listen, if you do get a fraction of what he used to be on that team that already has a good defense and already is loaded on offense, listen, Buffalo's trying to win. And they're sick of coming in second to Patrick Mahomes or getting beat by Deshaun Watson in a playoff game. Like, they're sick of that shit happening to them.
It feels like
they gotta try to win.
Knee-jerk reaction to all the other shit that was going on in the AFC West. The Buffalo's like, oh, fuck.
But Buffalo really didn't lose anything because of this that I can see.
I guess. And maybe, I don't think a lot of it was guaranteed.
No. It's backloaded, and it seems like that they probably will just. He's not going to obviously.
He's not going to play.
He's not going to play till he's 39. So
watch him do it. He's like, "Oh, I'm fucking coming back."
He's weeble wobbling out there.
Motherfuckers are going to pay me $30 million.
I can't believe we just fucking did this.
No, you can't play. Well,
I'm going to sit on the bench and I'll talk the guys up.
Well, yeah, but if it's not guaranteed, they can cut him.
Yeah.
Like they don't. That's the thing about the NFL and these contracts. So some of these, it's not exactly what it seems, and that's why it's all about the guaranteed money for these guys,
right?
Which makes that fucking Watson contract so much. I guess $80 million more than.
And they put the base salary for his next year at $1 million, so that if and when he does get suspended, he only loses like $60,000 a paycheck, which to the new $230 million man is like.
That's pretty nice of him.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's Cleveland. Cleveland went all out to say, you are our guy. We don't care whose dick got sucked.
I want to say that I hope Because, I mean, let's face it, the Cleveland's probably going to be pretty good. We're not going to get a good draft pick anyways. I want to see Deshaun go in and win. And it would be I would imagine, it would be kind of nice for Cleveland, for the Browns to be good.
Yeah, I can imagine that being a nice thing for them because they've never had it.
Well, not since the 60s.
Yeah, they have, the people that are alive don't know what it's like.
That's why they love it Jim Brown, right?
Yeah, Jim Brown.
That's why everyone loves Jim Brown still there.
Yeah, I think that was all the moves. Let's see. I can't really. We talked about Carson Wentz last week. We talked about, but I mean, Matt Ryan to the Colts. I think you're right. I think it's going to be. I could see them winning the division just because I do think Indianapolis is right there. Look, David, what's his name? The coach, Frank Reich. Frank Reich last year, he was just like, I'm not a Carson Wentz team. I'm a fucking Jonathan Taylor team, and I'm just trying to make it to where Carson won't fuck this up. So, like you said, Matt Ryan over Carson Wentz? Absolutely. I think Matt Ryan understands the game a lot better. He's a much better leader. I think that they end up winning more games than they did last year, and I think they could win the division just because of how good the rest of the team is. So, I think it's a steal.
There was a stat they were talking about today. It had to do with Matt Ryan and a couple other quarterbacks of how with their numbers and their numbers with a 100-yard rusher, 100-yard a game rusher, and without. And obviously, he's going to a team that his numbers were much better with the 100-yard rushers. I mean, back when they had Devontae Freeman and Kevin Coleman, there were some years that he didn't have to be.
Yeah. And it opens up the game. I mean,
right.
the problem with not having a running back is that if you're fully aware that all you can do is pass, and you're not a very good passing team, then we're just going to drop back into coverage and we're going to pick you apart. And that's what's happened to him a lot.
And last year he was just dumping it off to Cordero.
Yeah, who did resign? Cordell Patterson went back to the.
Think that he's not going to be the same dude now, is he?
No. I mean. There's really the only weapon they have. So fantasy football wise, I could still see him being. I mean, it's just him and Kyle Pitts. So I could see him still doing okay fantasy wise because they have
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, his career is over already. It's over. Leonard Fournette this morning when I was taking a poop, I saw that he re-signed with the Buccaneers.
So you got 3 years at the.
My man Tom Brady's making phone calls.
Well, and everybody's waiting to see where they're going. And
yeah, he's out there calling people though. And I mean, there's still a lot of big names left. Jarvis Landry, Julio Jones, Cole Beasley, Odell Beckham I put on there just out of respect. But I mean,
I'd imagine Landry or Julio's going to Indy.
Yeah, I would assume
because you got to think they want another receiver, right?
I would if especially if I just made this trade and I'm going, okay, here we go, let's win. I would definitely try to pick up another receiver, but I don't know if I'd want Julio Jones.
I don't want
Julio did get called by Tom Brady himself though, and let me tell you that add Julio Jones to that mix.
Well, you know why though? Why is that different? Because we know that if he goes down there, then all of a sudden we might get Julio from 5 years ago for one season.
Tom will figure it out.
Tom will make Julio believe that he can win a fucking Super Bowl. And listen, Julio, have you met what's his trainer's name?
Alex Guerrero.
Have you met?
You ever been jerked off by a Spanish man? Because let me tell you, he's amazing.
Check this out.
Yeah, come in here, just lay down.
Feel like you're 27 again.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I'd rather that happen. I think those are the only ones that are kind of left. It seems like those are the big names that have been coming off the board. We've had the big defensive players get moved already. We have had Chandler Jones and some of these other guys, but there's still a lot of defensive players left out there. Miles Jack. He got cut by the Jaguars and then immediately went to the Steelers. I like that move. That's a good move for the Steelers. I still like Miles Jack. He's still a good linebacker. But some of the other, Bobby Wagner, he said that he's going to wait it out. He said he's going to see kind of where everybody ends up and sees what's the best fit for him to try to win. I like that. Tyrann Mathieu has kind of said the same thing. Tyrann Mathieu is a big, big pickup. Wherever he goes, I feel like he makes them an instantly better team. Then you got Jadeveon Clowney, Stephon Gilmore, Gilmore, Calais Campbell, Dante Hightower, Justin Houston, Anthony Barr, Patrick Peterson, Joe Hayden, Nakumbin Sue, Kyle Van Noy, Landon Collins, and Zadarius Smith from the Packers did sign with, or like he had an agreement with the Ravens, but then he backed out of it. So now he's back to being a free agent again.
A lot of big defensive players.
A lot of defensive players still left. I was shocked by that when I was writing them down. I was like, holy shit. I mean,
they're all waiting to go to.
Some of them are older. You know,
we're all going to wait and see where I can go win a Super Bowl.
Sue, Joe Hayden, Justin Houston, Calais Campbell. These guys are getting a little old in the tooth, so that kind of makes sense to me. But
Patrick Peterson,
Eric Fisher and Dwayne Brown are two tackles that are still out there. And I mean, if you're one of these teams that is trying to think of the future, if you're the Raiders, if you're one of these AFC West teams, I wouldn't mind one of those guys to come help out. Kansas City could definitely use a nice tackle, so I would go for it. But yeah, I think that's all. Oh, the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton's still out there too.
Shit.
Carolina or Seattle's feeling froggy. Or, Nick Foles is still hanging out in Chicago. I mean, if you're feeling that way, again, like you said, a lot of these teams, what are they playing for?
Right.
What's the point?
It does seem like there's several teams. I mean, and if it's true, if there are some elite quarterbacks, and maybe they're finally catching on. All right, we're gonna try to get one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
This year's draft has a lot of really, really good wide receivers.
That's what I've heard too.
I was thinking about that. So the Colts could maybe be going and getting one of those, or the Packers maybe.
You said it last year, and it's true. Receivers take a little bit more to get going as a rookie, and you very rarely get Jamar Chase, and you very rarely get guys that come straight. I mean, Jalen Waddle did take almost towards the end of the season till we saw it where we were like, oh, this is legit. Devontae Smith was a Heisman Trophy winner that, I mean, I think he had a season. It was okay,
and
but
this
it
year
wasn't
be
great.
much better.
So people that think like, oh, you'll just find receivers in the draft.
I think he didn't blow up until his second year.
No, it took his second year. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, he had a good rookie year, but it took until his second year to really. And I think some of these Devontae Smith this year could have a monster year.
Yeah.
I could very much see it.
You would think he would.
I could see it. I could see it. But I'm just saying to say that like the Packers are going to go find a Devontae Adams in this draft,
especially when the whole point of signing him was to win now, right? Like,
yeah, and then. It just doesn't make any sense. Like they probably will. Green Bay absolutely with their first round pick this year should take a wide receiver if they want to make their $200 million man happy. I mean, not even to make him happy. If you want to be competitive in this league, you need a receiver immediately. I don't know how the Packers need to be throwing the boat at Jarvis Landry and Julio Jones just because Cole Beasley. They need to call one of those guys up and be like, we don't have a choice. Like
we just need a receiver.
I have to give you money. I like what? How much do you want? Because we don't have a receiver. Aaron Rodgers has to throw to receivers. He told us on a meeting the other day. He said he needs a receiver. We traded his away. They're
going to be a running team now.
Which, again, if you have no receivers and you just have running backs, well, now as a defense, you just got, okay, we're going to put 8 in the box then. Because, I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers is good, but we can cover these fucking losers. Like, you don't have Devontae Adams anymore. This is a lot easier. Yeah, interesting week. Interesting week of moves. I didn't really put anything extra on here, but yeah. We had some moves this year.
We could talk about controversial stuff, or
well, I've already said the blacks. I've already said that multiple times.
There was some other interesting controversial things that went on in women's sports this week.
What happened?
I forgot her name. Tia something or other, the transgender person that won the women's.
She cheated.
Swimming championship.
He cheated. That dude cheated because that dude has testosterone in him that is higher than every girl's ever had and is able to use muscles differently.
Did you see that? Did you see the pictures of any of this?
No.
This person is this is a large, like he's probably 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big fucking dude. He's a big fucking dude that was like, you know what? I'm not very good against these other guys, but I think I can kick these women's ass. And listen, part of me that's never been very good at sports wishes that long ago I had just been like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking kill these chicks. But
I mean, you gotta cut your dick off
not
to do it.
fair. No, and absolutely not. And then that's not fair.
Is there a little part? Do you admire his commitment?
No, because I love my dick, and he must hate his dick. He must have had.
Oh, apparently.
Listen, I'm not gonna get into the mindset of transgender because I truly don't understand it. It really is to me like a foreign, because I'm not trans. It's just like
I don't get it. It's hard for me to understand. But I do believe that if that's your thing, then I'm all for it. However, we have to. There's gonna have to be a third category then, right? I mean, if you just can't have this. You can't have these dudes competing against chicks.
It's just not fair.
Then all we're gonna be doing is watching dudes with dicks play sports, and then dudes that cut them off play against each other because the women
they're gonna beat all the girls,
right? They just won't. It'll be
yeah. It's just not fair. I mean, and maybe you're right. Maybe we do need to have a trans league,
right? So then there's a trans league.
Just go and y'all can compete against each other. And if you feel like it, you can go compete against maybe the old sex that you were in. But it's funny because it's not going the other way. There's not a female out there who's like, now I'm a man and I'd like to compete in the male sports.
Right.
Because you would get demolished.
Right.
Well, and I mean that with all due respect.
And so here's the other thing that ESPN has been trying to push this week. So I got sick this week. I didn't work all fucking week.
Oh,
so,
wow. I don't know.
Here's another weird thing. I got sick 4 times, right, in the last year and a half. Same symptoms, right? Same. I lost my sense of smell and everything all 4 times. Got tested all 4 times. The first 2 times were positive. The second 2 times were negative. So did COVID just go away? It's not a thing anymore?
Just dissipated in your body.
Anyhow, so ESPN is doing this thing where they're trying to push women's sports. Right, and so there's this screen. It's like, and something or other, this person hit with this amazing shot to win a championship, and then it goes, and you probably didn't see it, because 40% of athletes are women, but only 10% of the media coverage goes to cover their sports.
Yeah, there's a reason.
And I was like, yeah, but okay, if 50% of the media coverage went to fucking cover women's sports, I still wouldn't have saw it because I didn't want to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're really fucking up because we live in a day and age where I can pick everything I'm going to watch. Right. And
so
everything.
Suck my dick from the back. This is no one's fault. This is the fact that I don't want to watch a girl do a layup. And that's just what it is.
There's a reason why we watch physical competitions in the first place, right? It's because we want to watch somebody else do something that I can't do at the highest level possible.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a girl that looked like DK Metcalf and could run around like him, I would want to watch that. I'd be like, wow, that's impressive. But there's not. There's not a girl out there. Amanda Nunes is a monster. Right. And I truly believe if she fought the little ones, if she fought like the 125-pound dudes, maybe she could get one of them. Maybe. But most of those dudes are going to fuck her up.
Probably. And probably all of them.
Yeah, because they have different muscle mass. They have a different frame.
They have different physiology.
Yes.
I mean, at the same time, there's also a reason why I'm not a professional athlete. Because I don't have the fucking body of these guys.
Because if I run into Calais Campbell, he's gonna crush me.
Yeah, I won't walk for 3 months.
Y'all know how I feel about American White in the NBA. There's a reason why we're not all running around in little shorty shorts anymore, playing in the YMCA like we're basketball players.
Right.
All those white people that were in that 75-year Bob Pettit and names I don't even know.
The best.
They're all these old little fucking white men walking up going, that's me. I was good back in the 20s. You can take a hike and you're basically the same thing as a transgender woman because this wasn't fair either. You're playing against no blacks. That wasn't fair either.
Actually been playing against everybody, all the competition.
They should not allow this transgender
I just think it's... Listen, I am all for women's sports. I am all for them competing. Absolutely. I have daughters, and I actually enjoy watching my daughters play. But I don't like watching your daughters play.
And you know,
and shit, man.
You like watching them play because of competition and because it's them trying to excel and be better. And I get all that, and I think that there is a lane for that. And I think
there's a time and place for it, but it doesn't all have to be televised.
And you have to.
We don't all have to be stars. And
you got to give up on that. There's no fucking way you're going to get millions of people to watch this. There's no way.
Why does there have to be the women's equivalent of every male professional sport?
Because I think that's where they're like, well, we should have the opportunity to do that. And that's fine.
But the consumer gets to choose that, right? Yeah. I mean, because I wonder how ESPN played the women's college basketball thing on this weekend. How many people watched that shit?
The girls' parents.
Very few, I would imagine.
I'd love to see the
families. The real ratings. Yeah. Can we get a hold of those? They got to be minuscule.
Oh, yeah. They've got to be very small. I know as somebody who runs the TVs at the restaurant that I work at, I can't switch it off of the women's faster. I can't get it over to the men's playing the college basketball faster.
For whatever reason, watched about 30 seconds of one of the games the other day. And that was enough.
Yeah.
That was it. That was enough.
College basketball also, I know March Madness is going on, and I don't give a fuck about I don't give a fuck about it anymore, mostly because of the one and dones and the fact that you can't really keep. It's also weird.
It's actually better now. Because have you heard of the transfer portal?
Yes.
It changes everything.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Because now there's more parity. So you do have these little schools that are getting like 4 guys coming in from other teams, and they're instantly better. So the tournament, I've been watching it because I was sick. I didn't have nothing else to do. I was laying in bed, and so I watched them, and I liked the tournament. I've watched it since I was a kid. But sometimes, I fall asleep during those games. There's no way I'd be able to stay awake for a women's game. No way.
No fucking way. And I mean,
I fall asleep during NFL games.
Steph Curry has ruined not just the NBA, he has ruined the NCAA as well. The little bit that I try to watch, everybody is walking down and shooting fucking threes. Everybody is walking down. The play is drawn up that way. They want to kick, and then somebody shoot a three. It's like, can we try to just score every time that we go down or get something out of this? It's annoying.
I've noticed there does seem to be a rise in the big man coming. You know, you're seeing it a little bit in the NBA with Embiid and Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, but they got to shoot.
Right,
they got to shoot. They got all those bigs got to know how to shoot a three nowadays, or you're going to get played out.
But you are getting that. You got to have a dominant big guy to win the whole thing in college. But I don't know. It'd be nice to. They should do the opposite.
Yeah,
2 3-pointers in the paint or in that little arc, and then
that would be amazing. That would be amazing. It would make the game a lot more physical.
Three is if you can take it in.
All of a sudden, people would be like, "All right, fuck it, let's go in." Then Steph Curry's going to be pissed. He's going to be like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "That I built my whole fucking life around this." He would sue the NBA. But yeah, So I think we hit it all. Fuck that transgender guy. I'll just say it. That's where I'm going to go big. You know how I do. And he would get beat by all the blacks. That's how we're going to end this. Yes, they are.
No, the algorithm just
freaked out when I said fuck that transgender guy.
We're not even going to be